Hello and welcome to my first video. So this is just a breakdown of what I've got going on in my life and the things that I'll be tackling in this channel. It's just kind of an intro to me, who I am, and what I'm working with. So I'm just listing out my accounts, the things I'm working on, my goals, all that, all the stuff that I'll be making the videos about as we go on. So here's the basics. I'm 29 years old. I live in New York City, in Manhattan. I do have two roommates because otherwise I would not be able to live in New York City. And I do have a cat. I am in a relationship. We have completely separate finances, but it is something that I do spend money on and take into consideration. I do have a salary job with a corporation that does pay me weekly. That job I did start pretty recently, I'd say July 2021. I've been with the company for several years, but I just got into a salaried position. Started training in July, just kind of got my feet wet with it in August, and now I'm hopefully on an upward track. I make about $57,000 a year. That's an about, even though it's salary. I have the classic deductions, all the taxes, Social Security, state tax, New York City tax, Medicare deductions, all those things that everybody has. My additional deductions on top of those are my 401k, which is 5% with a match, of course. Thank goodness. I use my paycheck to pay my pre-tax commuter benefits, which is about $32 every paycheck. It's like $130 a month for an annual pass for the MTA. And my company has great medical, vision, and dental insurance, which is about $36 a paycheck, which is every week, which is not bad at all. Happy to have the growth, just over $1,000 a week. Net changes depending on things like overtime, which I am luckily still eligible for and take whenever I can, whenever they offer it, really. I do also have the opportunity for quarterly bonuses. Since I've been in this position, I have only received one of those. Takes quite some time for them to process those, but I got about $900, which was nice. I have another one coming up. They changed the percentage based on our sales, so we'll see how that goes. But overtime and the bonuses really kind of change that $57,000 a year and bump it up a bit, which is really nice. I have a couple accounts we can discuss here. I've got my classic Citibank checking account that I use kind of infrequently. I have a savings account attached to that I use solely for paying on my student loans, which we will get to. I have a Goldman Sachs Marcus high yield savings account, which is not so high yield right now. That stores just my emergency fund. I have a Quicksilver credit card that is a cashback card that I use for like my Netflix and any of my Amazon subscriptions and things like that, paid off monthly. I have a MasterCard that is really only open because it's still my oldest line of credit. I don't use it right now. We'll see where that goes. Doesn't have many benefits. I just don't want to close it and ding my credit. And then I have an American Airlines card that I use for the miles. Use that for my daily spending out and about. I do also pay that off monthly. I don't carry any credit card debt. I also have a couple of Fidelity investment accounts. I have a brokerage account. That's where my employee stock deposits. I have a couple of individual stocks that I purchased in the past. I don't currently contribute to this account outside of the employee stock plan that deposits automatically every year. That's just kind of hanging out. I have a Roth IRA where the dividends from that brokerage account get invested. It's only about like $300, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. And then I have my employer 401k, which is definitely my largest account. 5% of my pay every week goes into that because I get a full match on that 5% from my employer. It's a great match. I'm super happy to have that. And then we get into the reason that we are here, the reason that I'm really focusing on my finances and doubling down, because I do carry quite a bit of student loans. I got a master's degree in the theater, which I don't regret, but I do have about $170,000 in student loans, which is, listen, I know it's massive, upsettingly massive. Would I go back and do things differently if I had the chance to go back and do it again? Oh, absolutely. I'd take less loans. I would live life differently. I did work the whole time I was in school, but I wasn't intentional with my money, so I definitely could have taken less loans. The tuition, I went to a private university for my master's degree, which I don't recommend. I did love my degree. I still love my degree. I really feel like it did a lot of things for me personally, and I don't regret it. No, I don't regret the things that I did. I just do regret the way that I went about them. I would not go back and do it the same way for sure. Um, but that's where we are. It's what I have. It's what I got going on. So, uh, the reality of the situation is I need to make a plan to figure this thing out. So I use the program YNAB, or You Need a Budget, to keep track of my finances. I've been doing that since about February of this year, and I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I'm going to use it till the day I die. I'm going to pay down my student loans, because if I just paid the minimums, it would continue to grow massively. And at the end of those 25 years, which is how long it would take for that debt to be forgiven, I would have to pay taxes on, I did the math once, something like $300,000. And I just also really don't want to wait 25 years to have that load off my head. I have, goals and things I want to accomplish in life that don't include paying a student loan payment that is massive, especially if it's dependent on my income, for the next 25 years of my life. So, but I am going to continue contributing that 5% to my employer match on my 401k, because that is free money. But I am not going to be investing in my retirement above and beyond that, which is another reason I really want to expedite paying off this student loan debt as fast as possible. I want to continue to up my income year over year. I want to achieve executive level in my company by the age of 35, which, if you do your math, is a little less than 6 years. And that's going to be that on that. I mean, that's what I want to accomplish. These are things I want to do. They're high level, long term goals, and I just want to bring you right along with me. So thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe if you're interested. Thanks very much.